Hello everyone. Today you will find out about element and compounds of chapter 3. Let's look into this chapter outline. In this chapter, let's talk about electron shell, electronic structure, position of the first 20 elements, valence electron, periodic table, arrangement of elements, electron arrangement, metal and non-metals, and finally, alloy. Electron shell, electronic structure of an atom. If you look at the diagram on the right-hand side, the electron in an atom are arranged in shell around its nucleus. The first shell is nearest to the nucleus and can hold just 2 electrons, and the second shell can hold up to 8 electrons, and the third shell can hold up to 8 electrons. If an atom has 4 shells, also can hold up to 8 electrons. The electrons start to fill up the shell from the inner shell to the outer shell, and the electron like to get close to the nucleus as possible. If you can see carbon atom, the electronic structure is 2.4. What does it mean by 2.4? Because the first shell consists of 2 electrons and the second shell consists of 4 electrons. And if you see oxygen atom, the configuration or electronic structure of oxygen atom is 2.6 because the first shell consists of or up to can hold up to 2 electrons and the second shell can hold up to 2, 4, 6 electrons. So electronic structure of oxygen atom is 2.6. Let's look into chlorine atom. Chlorine atom, the electronic structure of chlorine atom is 2.8.7, and whereas silicon atoms is 2.8.4. Position of the first 20 elements in periodic table. If you look at the example, which is magnesium, the electronic configuration of magnesium is 2.8.2 because the first shell holds 2 electrons, the second shell holds 8 electrons, and the third shell holds 2 electrons. Magnesium is actually falls under group 2 in the periodic table. Group 2. Valence electron. The outermost shell of an atom is called valence shell. This shell should have electron before it can be called valence shell. The electrons in the valence shell are called valence electrons. Let's take example sulfur. Sulfur has a total of 16 electrons. Its electronic configuration is 2.8.6. It has 6 valence electrons. The valence electrons control the chemical properties of an element, and the number of electrons in the valence shell of an atom is equal to the last digit group number of the element in the periodic table. Lithium, sodium, and potassium have one valence electron each. This element must be in group 1 of the periodic table. Fluorine, chlorine, and bromine have 7 valence electrons each. They must be in group 17. In periodic table, all the elements in the same group have similar chemical properties. They have the same number of valence electrons. Chemical properties are controlled by valence electron. Periodic table. These are the 7 scientists that contributed to periodic table. Let's look one by one of each column. Period. Period is actually a horizontal row of elements in the periodic table. There are 7 periods in the periodic table. The proton number increases while moving from left to the right across a period. Have a regular pattern of change in chemical and physical properties of the elements across a period. And there is a gradual change of property along each period from metallic group 1 alkaline metal to non-metallic group 17 and halogen. Group 18 on the right hand side, all the monoatomic gases, noble gases, all unreactive because configuration is stable. Densities increase down the group, low boiling or melting point, cannot conduct heat and electricity, and insoluble in water. You will see under group 17. Group 17 is called halogen. Halogen, all is no matter, and reactivity decreases going down the group. And we add in water, hydroxide, ion, and phosphorus. Oxidizing agent decrease down the group. And column until 3 until 12 is called a transition element. So form complex ions which are colored in solution, different oxidation number, have high melting boiling points and density, can react as catalysts, and one or more possible charge, and its compound react with ammonia or sodium hydroxide. And group 1 is actually the alkaline metal, have low melting or boiling points and density. Reactivity increases down the group, react with halogen gases, oxygen, hydrogen, and water, and all groups form ionic bonding. And groups is actually the vertical column in the periodic table, family of elements. They are main group and one transitional group, almost same chemical properties, slightly different in their physical properties. Group 1 is called alkaline metal group. Group 2 is called alkaline earth metal. Example given previously is magnesium. Group 17 is called halogen group. Group 18 is called noble gas group. And the biggest group is called transition metal group, lies between group 2 and 3. Okay, this is example of helium. Okay, when the numbers 4 on the top, on the left, is actually represent nucleon or mass number. And when you see number 2 at the bottom, it means that it's atomic or proton number. So the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic weight. They are arranged according to their proton number. You can see this is a number. Okay. And elements are arranged from left to the right, from top to bottom. Hydrogen is the lightest element. After every 8 elements, the property will repeat itself. Example, lithium, sodium, potassium. Lithium, okay, sodium, and potassium have similar properties. And the space between lithium and sodium is 7 elements. By doing this, elements with similar properties are arranged in group, and the electron in the outermost orbit of an atom are called valence electron. All elements in the same group have the same number of valence electrons. Electron arrangement. The electron arrangement of atoms are linked to position in the periodic table. So elements in the same group have the same number of electrons in their outer shell. For the main group elements, the number of the group is the number of electrons in the outer shell, and the periods also have number. This number shows us how many shells of electron the atom has. This is actually the differences about the metals or non-metal, like physical property, electrical and heat conduction. In terms of metal is conduction, but non-metal is actually do not conduct. Okay, these are the table that represent the differences between metal and non-metal. Shining like a mirror, okay, like metal is a lustrous, and non-metal is actually dull surface and can be beaten into different shape. Like metal, yes, but non-metal is not malleable, brittle when hit. And ductility, in terms of metals, is ductile, and non-metal, not ductile. And making a ringing sound when hit. Metal is there are exceptions, but for non-metals is no ringing sound when hit. Okay, other properties which are less useful for distinguishing metals from non-metals. In terms of density, many metals have a high density. Exceptions are the group 1 metals. Most non-metals have low density. Other than that is melting and boiling point. Many metals have high melting and boiling point. Exceptions include the group 1, where metals and some other, example mercury, gallium. Most non-metals have low melting point. Exceptions are carbon, silicon, and boron. In terms of hardness, many metals are hard. Exceptions include the group 1 metal. Most non-metals are soft. Exception diamond, carbon, and boron. We can also use chemical properties to distinguish metals from non-metals. Many metallic oxides are basic. Many non-metallic oxides are acidic. Many metals react with acid to produce hydrogen. Most non-metals do not react with acids. When they react, metals form positive ion by losing electron, and non-metal form negative ions by gaining electron. Hydrogen is an exception because it can form positive ions. And finally, is alloy, a mixture of a metal with another elements or elements. Most alloy are mixtures of metals. Example, brass is an alloy of copper with zinc, and some alloys are mixture of metal with non-metal. Example, mild steel is a mixture of iron with a small amount of carbon. Thank you for your time. Just to ask you, have you done your revision in IGCSE subject? So what is your preparation to sit for the exam? If you're still struggling, please subscribe to my free YouTube channel. And also, if you need customized note, please visit beacons.ai/JohnStudyLab, or you can click the link at my Instagram JohnStudyLab at beacons.ai/JohnStudyLab. With that being said, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you very much for today.